already did it. I'm sorry.
Hit it again. Hit it again.
No, now it's the stop button.
Can't hit the start button again. Bad stream program SMH. God, fuck OBS.
Oh, no. You can't stream twice on OBS. Hi everybody, welcome.
Fucking awful piece of shit program. Who made this?
Wow, and they give it away for free?
Yeah, it's just they're just suckering us in.
Hi. It's
Hi.
me and Arrow, we're here.
Yeah, I'm sure
Whoa,
saying
monkey
shit.
ball. Okay. Wrong game.
Oh, you started Monkey Ball?
I didn't start it, I just accidentally hit the stick and it went down to the...
Why would you do that?
It went down to the menu where like the trophies and stuff are, and for that game it plays music, so I just got blasted for a second with doo-doo-doo-doo-doo-doo-doo-doo. I was like, whoa!
You got blasted? We're getting blasted over here?
Oh yeah,
ball sounds.
Before we get on this, it's kind of... I've noticed there's like 3 different variations for what like that menu is like for games. You can either have like nothing, or there's, I guess there's more like 4 variations. There's just nothing, it's just the blue background, right? Or you'll get a background picture. Or in the case of Bugsnax here, you will get no background, but you'll get music from the game playing. And then sometimes you just get a picture, like with Subnautica here. And then, in rare cases like Monkey Ball, you get both a picture and music playing. It's kind of interesting. Like, I wonder why they don't all have a picture and music playing. Like, who decides what goes there?
I think the dev probably decides what goes there.
Just kind of interesting. I don't know why anybody would pick not to, like, at least have the picture there for the game. Not also the music. Hi, Bree. I'm going to be slightly distracted today because I'm waiting for the cute shirt that I bought to get here. And I want to get it, when it is here. I want to go out and grab it. So, I've been trying to think about what we were doing last time, like, at least like what was happening at the very end last time, and I remember we saw that there's some other craft that they have that's like linked.
Oh yeah.
And so it feels perhaps pertinent to look for that and see what's there.
Yeah.
I'll check the ship's log information
Aww.
on that.
Yeah, it's got really good music, Bree. Also, hi Bree. How you doing?
Alright, let's go check. Also, my Lego set got here, so I'm gonna build that on Sunday. That should be fun.
Lego set. What Lego set?
The Sonic Lego set.
Oh, neat.
This is a different view for this, isn't it?
I did a building stream
I don't
the
like
other
this
day.
view. Much prefer this one. So... Sealed vault, secret location, that must be it. No, that's somewhere within the street. Oh yeah, that thing happened. Right, where there was, it showed me those hidden spots. Well damn, I don't remember what those were anymore. I'm gonna have to get in there again, I guess.
It's a good thing you remember the code, right?
Nope, I took a screenshot though, so... Last time. Oh, it's right here. Look. The screenshot's kind of easier to access quickly, though. Maybe... I'm still interested in that other ship. Where was the info on that, though? I know it was here somewhere. I looked at it before. Well, if I don't, I don't, I guess I gotta go in there and look at those things again. Damn it, where was the info about it? It was in the ship's log, I know it.
What was?
The thing about the ship. Because I remember I went into that room, and then it was like, ship's log updated, and I remember coming back here and seeing it. But I found it last time because it was marked as something I hadn't looked at yet. But now I've looked at it, and I can't find it.
Oh no.
I swear I've looked at everything here. It was... Damn it, what was... Where... Damn, what happened to it? Yeah, it's really not here. What happened?
I ate it.
I went in there. It's not even its own thing. Well, damn. Well, never mind, I guess. I don't know where the info for that went. I guess I'm going in there again. But I forgot to mark the... God damn it, I forgot to put on my suit. I forgot to mark the thing. I'm just all out of whack.
You forgot to put on your swimsuit?
I'm gonna have to go back into those buildings. I'm gonna have to do the passwords again. I'm gonna have to... What was the point of doing any of it last time?
Who fucking knows? Certainly not me.
Wow.
I wouldn't know a thing like that.
Okay, let's go. I've been watching somebody who does spore speedruns.
Uh-huh.
But I've been watching some of their speedruns. They had one where they speedran the game as the worst possible creature on hard. Which was just, they made a worm with only a mouth and that's it. And they cheated to make that be the creature they start the stealth cell stage with. So absolutely none of the game was played with anything better than a worm with a mouth.
A worm with a mouth. Yum
Yeah.
yum. And yeah, that's all you need.
And then they kept the spirit of it in the later stages by just only giving themselves the worst possible vehicles and buildings as well.
Oh hell yeah, this is my square.
And they never outfitted the creatures in the tribe stage or the civilization stage. Oh, there was a different way in here. I think it was just... Right, it was just to go through the lab, but I don't want to be over there anyway right now, so this is fine. Yeah, there was some tricks that I learned about that seemed very useful, particularly for the tribe stage, because the tribe stage is usually what gives me the most trouble, you know?
I mean, I guess. I can kind of see what you're getting at. It is kind of one of the harder ones if you're playing on like high difficulty.
Yeah, on hard, because it's like you start out with the tribes like all hating you, right?
Yeah, but it's like not the worst.
Like, it's always really hard to get out of that. But there's a couple of tricks that make it like way more manageable that was really interesting to learn about. Which was that, first of all, you can trick the game into giving you multiple eggs at once.
Oh, really?
So, yeah, so you can just pay 40 food and get 3 eggs. Because I think it was just, you have to...
Spam the button or something?
No, you hit the button, then you pause, and then edit the graphics settings. And then exit, and then hit the button again, and then pause and edit the graphics settings again. And then you can get 2 more eggs that way for free.
Interesting.
And then you can... so it's really hard to like sort of manage at the beginning because everybody hates you and you have to really fast to get them not to hate you so that they don't attack.
Mm-hmm.
And the way to do that is you send some of your villagers with gifts to like 2 of them. And then you gather everybody else and send them for socializing with the other tribe. But then before you let the other ones actually go to give the gifts, you grab them too and take them to the socializing as well. They'll keep the gift, right? And they'll carry it over there. And then when you tell them to socialize, they'll drop the gift, but it will still count as being delivered to the other tribes. So it just kind of teleports it to them. And so then you gift all of the other villages and are set up to immediately start socializing with the other one. And so you get them all on good terms, like immediately, all at the same time.
Yeah.
Which I was like, wow, that's like, I wish I knew that. There was stuff in the creature stage, like, although this was on a different speedrun, obviously, where it was just like, there's a lot of glitches in Spore where it's just like pause buffering does something, basically. Or like you could like get yourself to like go long distances by like starting to fly while targeting something and then unpausing and it just flings you. Also, it was really funny because listening to his commentary on these Spore speedruns, because he's like, I had to watch out for the game crashing at this point and stuff like that. Avoiding the game crashing is a big part of playing Spore. I don't remember where the places where you put the passwords are. This is the problem with playing this game like once a week.
Yeah.
You gotta remember a bunch of stuff over again. I thought I was just in the first area, but no. And then I was like, well, maybe it's in the second area. No.
Hey, I gotta take a COVID test.
Hey.
Live, taking COVID test live. Haha, fun time. Amazing.
My mom and sister both had those recently because they had been apparently near somebody who had tested positive, but neither of them tested positive, so...
We're just seeing how much better I am.
I see.
I am better.
You sound better.
I feel a lot better.
I got my...
it's basically nothing, as far as I can feel.
I got my vaccine booster 2 days ago.
Nice. I couldn't have gotten that, and now I can't get it for another 6 months, I think, because that's what the rules is.
I felt really sick the night of it. Like I was like, except for it felt like having a bad cold, but without the congestion or coughing or sore throat. Like I was like, I felt really hot, but also was like shivering extremely intensely. Like I could barely type on my computer.
I had, like, that's what happened to me with this last bout of COVID. It's like, there was a night I could not sleep because I had that basically for hours and hours. There.
Yeah, thankfully with the vaccine at least it just like it gets to that point and then just gradually gets better automatically. I was pretty like I had like fatigue feeling all day yesterday, but now I'm pretty much fine. Okay, let's look at our screenshot. My mom mentioned this, but with this vaccine, the longest lasting side effect is arm soreness, where they put where they inject it in, and I'm feeling that. It was weird because like usually, like the first time I got the vaccine, I didn't feel anything, right? It was like a normal getting a shot, like where it was just sort of like boop, just felt like getting poked, because you know that's literally all that's happening.
Yeah.
So this is Sliver Moon, Saturn, Sliver Moon, and then 2 stars. But yeah, this one immediately when it went in, it was like so, like it was like the surrounding area like hurt. I was like, whoa, that's like, that's different. And then it like kind of just still feels like that now when I like move my arm certain ways.
The first time I got shot, like I just was so tired the next day, and that was it. And then the second time, I just had like really bad head pains. I think it was reacting to a medicine I was on at the time that I was trying out for ADHD, but like it was like a nightmare. Like I just get like random sharp pains in my head, and I'd be like, "Fuck, am I dying? Is my brain about to bleed? Like, what is happening?" It's not fun.
I guess that was the wrong password.
Yeah, that's not the right password for that one.
Right, I remember now. So it's the sun, and then that thing, and then fire, and that thing, and fire.
That's the password for the little fire area where you saw those little secret locations.
These people had some very specific interests. Is what I'm gleaning by their choice of symbols and everything.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Okay, but where is this info in my ship's log, though? So the thing is that it's just like... This seems to be suggesting that it's just directly in front of this thing. Like if I maneuvered right onto this side of it, and then fly straight forward, I should run into this thing.
Okay.
Oh, yeah,
it's time to swab my nose. Yay, fun. Fun, stick a thing up your nose time.
So, probably the easiest way to go attempt that would just be to reset. So I am right here. So I think I can get back to my ship reasonably. And then there's those hidden locations that well, yeah, so we're gonna go back into that place. So it kind of feels like it was pointless for me to look at it last week, rather than just to know that it's there. I guess that was useful. Oh, bless you.
Okay.
Let me see if my shirt's here. Oh, I'm waiting.
Place the swab into the extraction barrel.
My shirt is not here yet. I got the shirt from the Goth website. Whoa, what the hell was that? The game just... Whoa. I got yeeted.
I need to do stuff like that at some point. Get some good clothes.
Lynn's partner showed me the Goth clothes website. I enjoy. It's called Killstar. They were having a sale, so I got this shirt for pretty inexpensive, and I like it a lot. I want to be goth. That's the look I'm going for
nowadays. Good aesthetic. I'm more punk, but they kind of overlap in some ways.
Yeah. I've ended up a little bit on the scene side of things, I think.
Yeah.
Which also, of course, overlaps. So I kind of want to just line myself up with the stranger. No, why am I locked onto the sun? And then just fly away from it.
No, I start a 10-minute timer.
I doubt I'm going to run into anything. But if I don't, then just... I can reset. Like, I doubt this is what I'm supposed to do to find this thing. And I don't know why I didn't see it in my ship's log. It has to be in there, because I went into this room and it didn't add anything to the ship's log. This is a load of barnacles.
So if I get a purple and a blue line, then I have COVID still. Well, I'm positive for COVID.
Yeah. Yeah, okay, there's nothing.
Me too, Bree. I'm super glad that they were able to make more interesting things for this game that don't just feel like weirdly tacked on. It's even harder to like imagine how they would do a DLC that wasn't separate. I also, one thing I forgot to mention is apparently early on in development in Outer Wilds, they had an achievement called Critical Performance Hit. And the whole thing was just leave your scout on one planet, leave your ship on another planet, and then be present on a third planet. Because the more physics objects like those that you have on a different planet, the more shit the game has to keep loaded, and therefore the worse it'll run. And the scout is especially bad because you have to be able to take pictures, so you have to render stuff there too. And like you can even expand on this by putting the Nomai shuttles on specific planets as well. And but then the publisher was like, you can't have a thing that'll make the users like make their game framey or maybe crash on purpose as an achievement.
Reminds me of the fact that there used to be an achievement in Spore called Bad Baby, which was just for getting something banned.
Get banned.
Yeah.
What a funny achievement.
And they removed it because I guess EA was like, you can't encourage people to do things that break the terms of service. Oh, there was something like that, I think, in... I was thinking about this last night. There was... Oh, yes, I guess it's only slightly related, but I was thinking last night about how in Pizza Time Explosion, originally I was going to have... So there's the question at the beginning that was like, does pineapple go on pizza? Do sardines go on pizza? And I was going to have it originally that if you picked no, then those things would become hazards you were supposed to avoid.
Oh yeah, that'd be kind of fun.
But I didn't do that just for the sake of like clarity.
Yeah, like that makes sense. I would have gone for it, or at least tried to, but like I could see it coming back out as like a patch, just because like it might not be very fun.
I just wanted those objects to, if they were on screen, to only ever be things that you collect just for the sake of clarity.
Mm-hmm.
Because I felt like it would be... It could be potentially confusing otherwise. Especially because they don't necessarily match with, like, the garbage stuff that you usually avoid.
Yeah.
But that was an early thought. I'm looking here again to see if I can find it on the ship's log, but... God damn. Man, I just gotta give up on that one, I guess. I don't see it anywhere. Guess we'll just do the hidden locations thing. So the reservoir is the place where it was. Ah, there it is. Yeah, so... Yeah, I guess we don't really have any info on that, aside from that. Alright, well that's that sorted. So, well, let's just go back to the other room. We spent nearly half an hour and have done literally nothing so far.
Sometimes that's just the way it be in a video game world. In this bitch of a video game earth.
I had somebody comment on my bootleg Plants vs. Zombies video, or they left a bunch of comments actually, where they were just sort of like, they seemed to be an enthusiast of the topic, and they were clarifying some things that I didn't know during my video, so that was neat.
That's cool.
Yeah, like they recognized where some of the figures that I got came from. Apparently some of them were based on like a fan fake leak of Plants vs. Zombies 2. And so for some of the figurines they literally like just were stealing fan art and making figures out of them.
You know, that makes sense. It's sucky, but it makes sense.
Yeah. I thought it was cool somebody recognized what it was exactly.
Oh yeah. Fucking.
Because I couldn't find that.
Brain.
And then a couple of them were from concept art, I think they said, from the Chinese version of the game. So like they weren't even actually in the Chinese version of the game, they were just from concept art. So that's why I couldn't find those ones. And there are a couple that were in the Chinese version of the game, but I was apparently missed it when I was looking through those, trying to find them. It's really hard to look up what's in the Chinese version of Plants vs. Zombies, especially because, like, they don't exist anymore. They're, like, all taken down. So, like, information is kind of sparse nowadays. They are really interesting though, because there's like a lot of like unique stuff in those. Like they're not like the Chinese versions of the games are like completely their own thing essentially. Wait, what happened to the hole? Where did I end up? I was lined up right with the hole. What happened?
Uh-oh.
Now like everything's just, yeah, we're like leaving. I was trying to get in here so that we could just go directly to where I wanted to go, but now it's kind of a disaster. Also, there was like some plushes that I looked at that apparently were originally official, but they couldn't afford the license.
Oh.
Yeah. Or something like that.
Funky.
There was like, there's not a lot of info. I guess if you wanna see all that, go to that video and look in the comments and see what that person was saying.
It is interesting though.
No. I want to make more videos this year. Just gotta wait until I got time for it. Why can't I can see literally nothing? Why is the lighting here so weird? There it is. That was the other problem I was having, was I couldn't see anything. There we go. So I'm in the correct location, just about. There we go. With Biss and Ash the other day, I was rewatching this one video about webkins.
I remember webkins. Ugh. I had a friend who was like really into them.
Yeah, I never got into that, but that's because at the time I was into UB Funkies, and I was collecting those. I didn't have room to also do webkins. My cousin liked webkins, so that's the main way I was aware of it. Was when I would visit her. At least there was like 1 year, I think, where she was into the webkins, and I remember her showing them to me.
Webkins.
I haven't seen her in quite a while, in like years now. Her family is always kind of weird about, like, being available to visit for some reason. They're kind of like, what's the word, flaky?
Yeah. Hi, Shannon.
Hi, Shan. Last I know, she was
Oh
like...
shit, my 10-minute timer's up. I guess it means I didn't test positive, because I don't see no line.
Last I knew about what was going on with her, she was going to get married, but then we got like wedding invitations. And then apparently it didn't work out. They're like the side of the family that has all the weird drama that happens. There's always that part of your family, you know? They live like...
I'm back.
Hello. They don't live near us, so they're always like...
You saying that the last thing you heard was thinking about her getting married reminds me of like 90% of the people I know or knew growing up. Just because like they were all Mormon, and like the whole thing is like get married, and then so people are getting married at like 18 and 20 and 21. And I'm just like,
it seemed like it was just so...
Who are you?
In this case, it was just like... I don't know, they were like taking things too quickly or something, you know?
Mm-hmm.
And also I heard like none of the rest of the family liked this guy. That he was kind of a deadbeat.
One of those.
Yeah. So nobody was really like disappointed that they didn't get married. Yeah, they don't live nearby, so they were always people that we only saw like once a year.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't know what's been up with them lately. I'm gonna find out that they watch my videos, and I'm gonna be like, uh-oh.
But wouldn't that be a trip? And probably not a good one, I imagine.
I'm sorry I called you the weird drama side of the family. Okay, so let's look at these locations. Is there a lantern in here? Yes, there is. I remember that. So I can get a close look. Oh yeah, the lake thing. You know what? I'm gonna screenshot these, because that's probably a good idea. Screenshot. But yeah, anyway, about the Webkins thing. I mentioned that I didn't get them because at the time I was into UB Funkies. And so that got me thinking, hey, what if I did a video going over the history of that? Because I've got a whole bunch of funkies. I could like show actual footage of them. I know about all the weird stuff from the history of it and stuff like that. It's just UB Funkies is defunct now, so it might be kind of hard to find. Because I wanted to have like footage of like the websites and forums and stuff, but that might be kind of hard to find. It's probably on the Internet Archive. I can go, but if I go spelunking for that stuff, I can make the fancy video on this topic before anybody else does.
Fancy video.
Yeah. I bet people would want to watch that. A deep dive into UB Funkies.
Probably, yeah. It's like one of those things I'm not immediately interested in, but it sounds like an interesting video I'd watch.
I was thinking about, because we were watching the Webkins thing, I was thinking about how weird it is, how weird UB Funkies was, because it's set up as if it was an MMO, but it's not.
Mm-hmm.
It's just single player. But there's like NPCs walking around all over the place, as if it was an MMO.
Ah, it's a fake MMO.
There's like no way to interact with anybody or anything, and you have like your house that you decorate and everything. They eventually added these special funkies that were the chat funkies, and they had their special like rooms that they could go into, and there you could actually connect with actual people, but it was only pre-written messages, which kind of it made it not very interesting. Because it's like, well, first of all, this is the only place that you can connect with anybody, so what the hell are you even going to talk about if all you have is just pre-written messages? Like, the only thing that you could do outside of that was you could take people to see your house, which was cool. You could finally, like, show off your house to people.
I mean, like, that's always a nice thing to do in games.
Yeah, but, like, at least that was it.
Yeah.
So it's just kind of really weird.
It's definitely not the only thing you want to do.
Like, I didn't think about that at the time, but, like, thinking about it now, it's like, that's kind of a weird setup. Also, all of the graphics and music and everything in the game was, like, completely accessible in the files.
Hmm.
I remember messing around with those when I was younger. Like, my old game projects that I had when I was like 10 years old or whatever, used music from UB Funkies because it was just accessible. They were just there in the files. I was that kind of kid who always was just like searching around on the computer to see what was in there.
Oh, I do that shit too.
Yeah. I remember one of the earliest memories I have with the computer was just like, I wasn't allowed to actually use the computer most of the time, but there were times I remember where nobody would be at it and I would just sit down at the computer and just like look at it, and I figured out that on the start menu you could just start mousing over like all the file trees and I would just see how far they would go.
This sounds like exactly the kind of shit a kid our age gets up to. Like, it's very relatable.
Yeah.
Like, not committing to actually like doing anything on there, but like,
well, yeah, because I wasn't. I would just. I wasn't allowed to use it, but I could just sit there and move the mouse. So the secret location is there, but how do I guess that's why it's a secret.
Yeah, it's called.
Do I have to manage to jump out of the elevator or something?
No, that's not at all. I don't even know what you're trying to do.
Oh, it's up to oh, that was close. Damn.
Oh, I know what you're trying to do. Okay.
It's just a little bit too high. Oh, I think it could be. That was close. Thankfully, this place doesn't move when the water comes by. No, but it was too... Damn. Damn.
Did the dam get you?
No, it didn't. Oh man, but now I can't get back over... I can't get back up.
Why didn't you just... Okay, I got an idea, Lena.
Yeah.
Why don't you just jump down from the top?
You can do that?
Why can't you?
Well, the elevator's in the way when you're up there.
Oh, I see.
I guess I could... Well, let's do it again. Bree says go on a little computer adventure. Sasha and I were talking last night about our experiences with Club Penguin, and I was like...
My cousin always really wanted to play that. He never did.
I was just getting hit with how, like we're not that much different in age, but like difference in age feels like way bigger the younger you are, or the younger that you are thinking about. So like, Sasha was like, I started Club Penguin when I was 5, and I'm like, what? And not only did she start it when she was 5, she started it like a few years after I was, like, after I had started on there, and I had been like 10 at the time, or like 9.
Yeah, like it came out a little bit.
I was like, oh my god.
I feel like it was like mainly like for kids who were just a little bit younger than us.
I played Club Penguin the year it started.
Yeah.
And I was 9 years old. And then Sasha was telling me last night about what she thought was the coolest party that they ever did in the game. And I was like, yeah, no, that was kind of just shortly after I wasn't playing it anymore, because at that point I was 13.
Mm-hmm.
And I wasn't into Club Penguin at that point. Yeah, that was sort of like a brand new experience at the time of just like, that was like I think my first experience like interacting with anybody online was in Club Penguin. So that was very interesting in that regard. Internet stuff was something that I did alone.
Instead of getting into
Before that
Club
point.
Penguin, I got into like Adventure Quest. And like that whole set of games, like Adventure Quest and Dragon Fable were the ones I played the most, and then Mech Quest came out towards the end, which was like I was way into aesthetically, and I played the beta of it, but then like it was kind of as I was losing interest in those games, and so I didn't really get much into it. But the big thing with those is that they had like this, they all had this $25 like membership fee that gets you like all the good content basically, and like I basically like bugged my parents a lot, and I was like, please get me this one for this, and I got the one for Adventure Quest, and then I didn't even use it that much because I kind of fell off Adventure Quest shortly thereafter. But I always wanted the one for Dragon Fable. Yeah, I always wanted the one for Dragon Fable because it meant that you could make your little pet dragon into a big dragon, and yeah, Dragon Fable I think is definitely my favorite of those games.
I think the only thing in that vein that I played at all was, I remember RuneScape was popular when I was younger, and I remember trying that one time. But I didn't play it for very long because I got too confused.
I didn't like it. I played it a little bit with a friend once, and that was it.
Yeah, I don't remember liking it either. I remember just being confused by it. I just had a memory of another thing, because thinking about on like fantasy styled games. Remember those websites they used to have where it was kind of like Neopets, where it was just like a website, and like you had like pets that were just kind of like pictures, and they'd like grow, and like there was like you'd go places to try and like get good pets and stuff like that. There was one of those that I played that was just dragons. And I forget what it was called, but it was really, I enjoyed it. It was like, I wish I remembered what it was called or anything, but you'd get like little dragon eggs and you'd hatch them, and then they'd like evolve and turn into these cool dragons, and like there was like, I guess like an adoption place that people would leave their dragons at, and like you'd try and get lucky for good ones to be there. Like you'd have to click really fast because everybody else was trying to get them. I remember playing that for quite a while. I don't remember how old I was. That was probably when I was a teenager, like 13.
Yeah. Right at the end of the when I stopped being into Adventure Quest, they came out with the beta for an actual MMO, because those games were all like fake MMOs.
Like Bunkies.
And I played that beta for the actual MMO quite a bit, and that was kind of fun for a little bit. But then it was like, when it came out, it had like a membership fee and stuff like that for like actually having good stuff, and that kind of like made me quit it pretty quick.
Is this open?
Oh god, Chan, yeah, we had dial-up here. It sucked.
We only had that for like the very earliest.
We had it for a long time. And also, I was the only reason we ever ended up with Wi-Fi, because I found a router at a garage sale, and then I figured out how to set it up.
I only barely remember dial-up internet. That was only when I was very little. I remember the sound that it makes.
I also like saved up I think I bought like a laptop for like $300 when I was in like middle school.
The first laptop that I got, oh, now there's a thing here. The first laptop that I got was hand-me-down when I was in high school.
I used it's a really shit laptop, but I used the shit out of it. And I basically just would like play Spore forever on that stuff.
Uh,
That was like my biggest thing, just spore time. I remember one time I went downstairs early in the morning because I was like, I'm gonna go get on the internet, and I don't really remember what I was trying to play or anything. I think I just wanted to get on and browse or something like that. And then like I was like, yeah, because no one's gonna use it in the morning, and no one's gonna care and stuff like that, and just no one's up anyway, so I'll just do it.
is
And
this
then
going to destroy
the
this
dial-up
slide reel?
noise. You cannot stop the dial-up noise, and so my dad came up and was like, "What are you doing?" You know, like nothing.
I am afraid to put this slide reel in here, like it's gonna get destroyed.
Try it.
Fine. Oh, well, it did nothing.
Yeah, it didn't do anything.
That doesn't do anything?
Nope.
Oh. I guess I just take it with me to the real place to watch slides.
My guess is
which
that you
bad.
wouldn't have the knowledge to know to use it anyway.
Wow.
I mean, I don't know.
I'm just a dumbass.
Yeah, that's all the Outer Wilds character is, a dumbass.
Yeah.
Just a little bimbo running around.
We have to slowly make this character less of a dumbass. Oh, we're here again. What was I gonna say? Yeah, for me, I only remember the dial-up internet very early on. I don't think I even ever used it myself. I wasn't allowed to do things like that until I was older. I did video games or get to use the computer or anything until I was like 8 or 9. Partially, I think it's just because we didn't have a lot of money. Though apparently we had enough not to have dial-up. I remember when memes were first just like becoming a thing. Shan mentioned memes.
Yeah. I remember going to icanhascheeseburger.com.
Yep. And the fail blog I remember was the first
I also went
thing
to
that I was
Senior
into.
GIF a bunch.
I remember when there was like where like there were a few enough like big memes that you could like list them all off. And, like, all of them.
Yeah.
Like there was like Ouija and the troll face and the dancing banana and
The
like,
troll face was like my favorite, and there was like the other ones like fucking the baby with the dude did the fist pump or whatever.
yeah,
Yeah.
that was a little bit later when the image macros started happening.
Mm-hmm.
I remember when it was just like Zelda CDI and Hotel Mario and like really early, and Chuck Norris, of course.
Oh yeah,
All
Chuck
the
Norris was
jokes was one of the first
really
ones I
big.
remember. Like it was so early on that like people were like didn't like know how to pronounce memes.
Yeah, I never
Word.
did.
Like that's sort of more of a common knowledge thing, but I remember there was confusion about how it was supposed to be pronounced back then.
I was so confused for a long time. I never really knew how to say it.
That was all when I was in like 7th grade. Was when this sort of started becoming a thing. And then
Well,
it's
we
just
both would have been.
And now memes are just memes. Yeah, Aaron and I are the same age, so Okay, let's look. Let's pay attention to this here. Look at the symbol. Oh, there's some place you can just walk across. Oh, dangus. Interdasting. Very interdasting. Alright, let's consult my screenshots again. Oh wait, no, there's one I don't need to consult because I remember where it is. But I am going to reset to get there. Alright, well we're getting close to an hour streaming this, but we are making progress now. Not bad. Okay. Whoa. Whoa. Okay, we're cool. Okay. Ship slog. Don't remember how to get to the endless cannon. Endless canyon, not cannon.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Get the same information twice there. Okay. Oh yeah, how's my shirt doing? Not here yet. And there we go. Okay. So we're going in the normal way this time.
The normal way.
Yeah. The normal way.
The Normans band. Oh my god, did you ever watch... What did you watch growing up? Did you have, like fancy TV, or did you just watch PBS?
Yeah. We had cable.
Okay, we never paid for any TV. So I'd only see that stuff at, like, either a friend's place or my grandparents'. But
I mean, I also watched PBS.
I imagine you did some, yeah. Like, did you watch Cyber Chase at all?
Yeah, I remember. The main thing I remember was I was afraid of the theme song for some reason. I had to hide away from it.
Song?
Yeah, I don't even know why.
That's funny. I watched the...
I liked that show,
oh
but
my God.
When the theme song would
Yeah,
come
me
on,
and
I
my
would hide
sister
behind the
loved that
couch.
show. But me and Biss watched the first episode of it the other day just for fun, and it was something else. And then
Doesn't
we
it have
watched...
Gilbert Gottfried in it?
Maybe.
Or at least an impersonator?
Yeah, something like that. That's what they said. But then we also watched a bunch of, like, you know, like those little, like, weird short things that would happen afterwards, where they're like the same thing that happened in the show, math
but
problem
live
wise,
action?
but it's real life. And, like,
Yeah, I remember that.
Yeah,
And
we
they
watched
had
a bunch of those.
recurring
They're
characters
just
in that.
weird. They're just weird.
I mean, I remember my dad used to think those were really funny.
They are kind of wild. We
And
watched
just
this one
weird.
that I remembered a lot of because like it's always been stuck in my memory where like Harry the dude is like, I'm gonna make wallpaper and I'm gonna cut out the same shape over and over again so I can tile them and, like out of these little scraps of paper to make wallpaper. And it's like this would never
Oh.
work that well IRL. But also, I forgot that the reason he's doing that is because his girlfriend keeps running away because he has these clown posters in his
um.
They're quite something.
Um. Okay.
And then at the end of the video, so like it doesn't work. His girlfriend's like, it's even more hideous now. And then some other friend of his comes by and she's like, I really need a drink of water because I've been jogging. Can I come in? And he's like, yeah. She's like, oh, I love what you've done with the place, but I really miss those clown posters.
Uh. Then why was she running away?
Well, this is a different person.
Oh.
There was a person who ran away, and you never ever saw on camera. And then there's this other lady who like jogs by after all that happened. And she's like, "Hey,
I
Harry,
see.
I see you're looking at the because Harry's looking out the window, and she's jogging by on the like sidewalk. She's like, "Hey, I really need a drink of water. Can I come in?" And he's like, "Yeah." They all have like really weird titles too. Like, I don't know, they feel like very silly title wise. The other one we watched was this one where he's like supposed to be doing magic tricks, and then no one likes his magic tricks. And you know what he does? Is he calls the person who's like booing him up to the stage as a volunteer, and then he just is like, "Look, if I take this measurement from one part of your body, it's about the same as this thing. If you multiply it, it's about the same as this measurement on another part of your body." And then it's just like he doesn't do magic tricks; he just does that, and they're all like, "Wow."
I wish I'd known you'd been watching Cyber Chase. I would have loved to join for that.
It just came up spur of the moment the other night. I don't think we're gonna be watching anymore.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What was I gonna say? Yeah, I was just thinking about how I was afraid of the theme song again. I don't know why.
That's funny. Oh, we got onto this topic because Splendidland posted some beta designs for Hacker from Deltarune. And I was like, well, they forgot the original.
Yeah, hacker.
The Hacker from
Yeah.
Cyber Chase is also green and it has a funny shaped head.
Did you ever like watch those things and not realize that they were educational?
Yeah,
That was me all the
definitely.
time. Ah, I'm not doing your stinky door puzzle this time, loser game.
Wow, you're so mean to the game.
Yeah. Oh wait, is this lead?
Remember when you almost came to this lake?
I mean, I did
Because you
come
were
to
like,
this
it's
lake.
suspicious, but then you didn't. Because you didn't see anything in it.
Yeah.
The game really gotcha.
It really pooped on me. You know what?
Yeah.
I'm gonna undo that sentence. I didn't say
Nope, you
that
said
one.
it. You said the
Nope,
game pooped
no,
on you.
no.
Elena gets pooped on by a video game live on stream.
What?
Today, January 20th, 2022,
January
about
Planuary.
2:19 p.m. Mountain Standard Time.
That one gets an yeah. Oh yeah, remember Miiverse? Where you could yeah or yeah thing.
I did not know that. That's wild.
Instead of likes and dislikes. Yeah, Miiverse was incredible. Though I don't miss it that much. The only reason I miss it primarily is that it was a really good way to take screenshots on the 3DS.
Hmm.
And now you have to hack the 3DS if you want to take screenshots.
That sucks.
Well, some games have built-in screenshot features, which is nice. But you used to be able to screenshot just basically anything through Miiverse. And they didn't replace it with anything. You love the concept of yeah.
It is
It
quite
almost
a
sounds like
funny name.
onion. What if it was? What if onion was what they had instead of dislike?
Okay. Seems a little bit mean to Shrek, but you know.
Boy, any of the stuff that takes place in this world is kind of complicated. Try and decipher. Oof. It's gonna be a hell of a thing to try and remember and figure out. Oh man.
I did not find it that difficult, but you know, I guess to each their own.
That's gonna be a thing I'm gonna have to do again at some point, I think, is look at that. I'll have to review the footage.
Zoom and enhance,
Yeah.
but mostly enhance.
Alright, now let me check out the other screenshot. So we went to that one. We did not go to that one yet. We went to the lake one. So where's that? So there's a house. And there's like a little grating. I don't know which house that is. So it looks like it's at the beginning area. I think. Well. Time to reset. Just to make sure things aren't flooded and etc.
See, it's funny
Yeah, go
because I
check.
did not reset like at all.
Oh.
I even though I got meditation and I knew about it this time, there's a lot of times when I kind of just sat around and waited for the end.
Oh, I see.
I don't know.
Well,
it's just something I do, I guess.
For the stream, I wouldn't want to do that, especially.
Like you're valid, but no.
Nobody wants to watch me just sit around and do nothing.
I mean, there's always something you can do, whether
I
it's
can
silly
twiddle
or
my
not.
thumbs.
Yeah, you can twiddle your thumbs.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you could just roast some marshmallows. That's basically twiddling your thumbs. Go fuck around in the weird, place.
Very, very descriptive.
Yeah, I just didn't want to, like, say anything about it.
What if you could twiddle your bums?
I mean, you can't. That's what I do when I'm bored.
View entry.
Yeah, the VTuber doesn't even have thumbs.
Damn.
You're onto something here.
I can twiddle my thumbs on stream on Sunday when I'm streaming the Lego set that I got.
Mm-hmm. Sure. But
I'm gonna be live. You're gonna see the real me.
Yeah, in the same. Look, I had my own forearm and hand reveal this last week when I did the stream for building this armored core kit. It took me 8 fucking hours to build it.
Oh my god. I hope this Lego set won't take that long. This is the biggest
It's
Lego
a Lego set. It won't.
This is the
Like,
biggest...
you don't have to clean up all the plastic sprues and like do stuff like that.
I hate that kind of stuff.
It is.
I've done some
It is a
projects
little
like that
stressful,
before.
but like it's fun. I don't know, I had fun.
I mean, yeah, they're fun, but like, they're not my preference.
That's valid. I think.
I know some people who like do that stuff a lot, like have like a tool that like melts off the extra.
Ooh. See,
I think, if I remember correctly.
There's probably specialized tools for this,
so that
but
it makes
like,
it really like a smooth edge instead of leaving little bits.
It sounds like something where I would just use a soldering iron.
Yeah, that's probably what they use. I never.
Because like we did that with my computer fans. Because there was this one fan up above the motherboard on my case, where the clip for the cable that goes from the power supply to that part of the motherboard it would be blocked because like there's a clip on the outside that
Oh.
holds it in, and it would be blocked by the fan casing. So we melted away a bit of that side of the fan just to make
Oh.
room for that, and it works fine for years. I mean, my computer's still here.
But yeah, I'm also going to, it's going to be my torso reveal on the stream. Because
Torso reveal.
yeah, because I'm setting up the camera as good as like I can.
So you're not going for like an Ashton style vid this time?
No, because I didn't want to reach around the computer again.
You don't have a brown sofa.
No. Oh yeah, this is just this place, so this is incorrect. Let's continue. Yeah, advance beyond mere hands. You get to, I will prove that I'm a real person. With a body.
Mm-hmm. Is Elena real? Sounds fake.
Oh, it wasn't a grating, it was a little tree. I think this is the right place. Let's review the screenshot. Yeah, that looks right. Oh, there is a grating. It's just a little bit over there.
Yeah, what if Elena was just a torso and arms?
Oh, it's like overgrown here.
Isn't it wild how you could just stumble onto this place, but you probably won't.
Yeah.
I mean, that's like the entirety of the game, basically.
You could stop at 5 or 6 stores, or just one.
Yeah.
Where the hell this is? My guess was maybe this repairs ones that have been burnt. Like, you know, there's some that have like burnt bits. I feel like perhaps if I brought one of those here, it would fix it. That's my only guess. It doesn't feel completely correct. Oh, this one I don't have to do the door trick either. Ha! Screw you, game. You gave me the way to do that.
Yeah, Elena hates video games.
I'm really not sticking it to the game if it's just giving that to me. I hate your stinky door puzzles. Actually, am not super fond of it because the timing is really bothersome to try and manage. Especially on that one where you couldn't see the door and the thing at the same time. That was bugging me. I probably looked at all these slides before, I'm imagining. But just to be sure, I'll take them with me. I mean, I don't know what I did before.
Something or other.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure I saw these. These look familiar. What if you, like, wore them like a headband?
Just a bunch of bracelets. You think you could fit your neck into it? You could be like a choker. Ooh, nice, Chan. Enjoy it.
This is the closest lantern I knew the location of, so taking it with me.
Just be careful with it.
What do you mean be careful with it?
What do you mean? What do you mean be careful with it?
The only thing to be careful of is not putting it in the water.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Don't put
There's
it in
no
the water.
here.
There could be.
But there isn't.
There could be.
There
Don't spit on it.
Arrow, you are incredible.
Sometimes.
Okay, this thing again. Give me that, bro. Alright, well, he just went into the forest and then he walked through the fire!
Through the fire and the flames we carry on.
Okay, so that was a lot of information from these, and I feel like I've done a poor job committing any of it to
Yeah,
my
I mean,
memory.
you've hardly like been around where. Yeah.
I'm gonna just make sure I've seen this already. Oh yeah, it's that one. It's the one where they get angry and destroy everything because the eye smelled bad.
Oh, we didn't know it'd be so stinky here.
Yeah, screw everything, we're leaving. Actually, they didn't leave, they just went to, like, screw everything, we're going to our mind palace.
That's what you called it, that's right.
Okay, so I don't know how to get back to that
Can you tell me how
the
to
canyon.
get to Sesame Street?
Maybe it was this one. Because I remember this is like the most easily accessible one. But I don't have the device, the artifact, so I gotta go get one of those. Oh yes, this is correct. You don't want to step in the ghost matter.
Several times in small
Don't
cups.
want to step on a ghost's butt.
Sounds like it would make it taste good.
There's like an intense garbage smell happening here where I am.
It's the
And
eye.
I'm not. Oh yeah, yeah.
Sorry, Outer Wilds. They updated and they accidentally enabled smells.
Oh yes, the smell-o-vision. They finally did it, the bastards.
It's not smell-o-vision. You don't see the smells.
No, but see, it's a pun because it's coming from your television.
But you're not playing on a television.
Yes, I am.
Oh.
Yeah, what are you talking about?
I don't know.
Oh, that was the wrong one. It's gonna be the one with the planut. Yeah, I'm looking at my TV right now.
Well, I play on my monitor. I don't know. We only play on lizards over here.
Wait, the thing didn't open?
It's because there's still light near it. It's a little bit funky sometimes.
I didn't know it was so picky.
It is.
There we go. Get scrambled game. Alrighty, so we're screwing around in here again now.
Don't let the bed bugs bite.
Don't let the bed bugs, bitch.
Yeah.
It's so hard to see in this world.
All games will smell like Breath of the Wild taste.
Oh man, this isn't the canyon. Oh man.
No, this is not the canyon.
Alright. Well, I think I have one other guess for which one would give me the endless canyon. Do 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 do.
Boop bop beep. Boop bobby boop.
Okay. Let's get over this way. I want a raft.
I played through Portal Stories Mel while I was sick.
Portal stories?
It's a Portal 2 mod that got released as like its own game on
Oh.
Steam.
Valve's really good about that. About letting like
Yeah.
people just make their own stuff and like publish it.
Yeah, I mean it's free, so like it's not like paid or anything, but still it's really
they still
cool.
allow that stuff.
Yeah. It's pretty neat. It had its own stuff going on.
The only problem is that they also allowed Hunt Down the Freeman
What the fuck
to
is that?
be it's just I've never looked into it very much. I just know that it's highly disdained. Like I think
okay.
it was like an asset
It's not
flip.
like the cinematic. It's not like the cinematic mod.
No, I think it's just like really low effort, just like asset flip
Oh.
type of thing.
Okay. Yeah, Portal Stories Mill is like it takes place before like your character arrives there when Cave Johnson is still alive. But then they do through
Interesting.
the sleep chamber and then like they end up in between Portal 1 and 2.
Interesting.
Yeah.
I might like to check that out then.
It's pretty neat.
I like that kind of beans.
Yeah.
I think the biggest project that Valve allowed to be like published and sold was Black Mesa,
Oh
which I
yeah.
streamed, of course.
I
Just like
I
a
just
full,
don't
huge remake of.
want to play
first
Black
half.
Mesa ever.
Oh
It doesn't
come
seem that interesting
on!
to me.
Oh come on! What happened? Oh, it's the wave. Right at the moment I was getting there.
Oh,
It didn't. That was incredible timing.
that is amazing.
Oh, Bree says about Hunt Down the Freeman. It was like a generic shooty game where you were Gordon's secret brother or something.
I mean, isn't that Half-Life in general a generic shooty game?
It is not generic, no.
I mean, not even a little bit.
No. I mean, it can't be. It was sort of the first of its kind.
But like, if it's not the first one that you've played, then it can feel a little generic.
I don't know. I really like the storyline in it.
That's fair. I never finished the first Half-Life, but I got fairly far into it, and then I got really tired of just fighting all these military dudes.
I think it was last year, or was it the year before? I played both of them. I think 2020 I played Black Mesa. Yes, that's correct. I played it in 2020, and in 2021 I played Half-Life 2. What the hell was that? Wait a minute. Did you see that? The thing just came flying right this way.
Yeah, it shoots off the probe shoots off in a random direction.
What the?
I've heard tell of someone dying to it before they even triggered the statue at the start of the game.
Whoa.
But I don't know if that's really like
I've never seen that before.
Possible. I think it's technically possible, but it seems so amazing that you would wake up and just die to that. Like,
but yes, Gordon's secret brother makes me think of the Half-Life Full Life consequences.
oh yeah, it definitely sounds like that.
Half-Life Full Life consequences. The sequels to that were progressively worse because they were just trying to capture the feeling of the first one, but were more clearly just parody.
Mm-hmm.
My favorite parody thing of Half-Life is Gorgeous Freeman.
Mm.
That was really funny.
I also looked into playing Portal Reloaded, which is like I don't know if it
yes, I've
has
seen people
stories,
talk about that. That's
but
the
it's
one that's
like the
got
one where
3
like,
portals, and
well,
the
the
other one
third
goes through
portal just
time.
goes between like an old version of the map and a
Yeah,
new
yeah,
version.
yeah. I've
But I
heard it
just
gets
like
very
don't
confusing.
care. Like, it's probably very good in the puzzles, but I'm just tired of like, oh, the same puzzle game, but we added time mechanics. Oh, look at that. And like, it's a
Oh,
very, I feel like it's not bad by any means. It's just, it's a very like commonly used thing, and it's kind of just tiring.
oh, I've never seen that before. I've never seen a puzzle game with an added time mechanic.
I don't know. I feel like it's a common like first step or like first
Really,
ambitious step.
I've never seen it before. That was my
And then
first example of seeing it.
after that, I was like looking around and I saw this one called Portal Desolation that looked interesting, and that one looked neat, but it's not out yet. So
Ah, I just heard that the puzzles are like really difficult in Portal Reloaded.
I mean, they probably are because you have, I believe, like in the past,
There's
you
a lot
have a
more to think
separate set of
about.
portals than you do in the future,
Yeah,
and so it's like,
it's
but like
basically you
also like,
have like 6 portals instead of 2.
yeah, it's basically like you're playing two chest chambers at the same time. I'm
2
imagining.
chest chambers.
Yeah,
Oh, I should
yeah.
have took the artifact with me. Whoops.
Well, there's one in the theater here.
In the theater?
Yeah,
Oh, right over there, right? I'll
yeah.
go grab it.
I just didn't really feel up to playing Portal Reloaded because it just didn't. I don't know. Like it would just be like too annoyingly
The name is
annoying.
kind of ass. Portal Reloaded is kind of a terrible name.
Hmm.
Are you sure there's an
Oh, I
artifact in
also
here?
like bounced
Oh,
really
yes, there
hard
it
off
is.
of one ages ago. It was like thinking with time machines or whatever, which like Shell or whoever you were also had a time machine and like could like duplicate herself. And like I
Interesting.
just didn't feel up to doing stuff like that. And I don't know. I mean, I've already done stuff like that in the Talos Principle.
What's that?
The Talos Principle is a really good puzzle game that came out several years ago. It's by Cry Team, the people who make all the Serious Sam games.
I'm vaguely aware of what Serious Sam is.
Yeah, it's really weird because you wouldn't expect them to make this excellent puzzle game just out of the blue, but that's exactly what they went and did. It's in the same engine, and all the maps have like a ton of Easter eggs. It's really fun. And the puzzles are good. The stuff in there that's not puzzles is interesting, and then there's also really fun Easter eggs.
Okay, here we are. So they showed there was just like a secret bridge somewhere. Not there.
Don't you wish you knew where that was?
Yes, I really do. I knew when I saw that, I'm like, damn, it's gonna be really hard to figure out when I get there where I'm supposed to walk. Oh lord. I wish you could see your ship's log at any time.
I mean, I don't think it would really help in this case. The ship's log is kind of sparse for the DLC. Which I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing or if it matters, but like, yeah, it is shockingly not that helpful.
No, there's this. Oh! Wait, why didn't I do that last time? I could have just seen it.
Yeah, you just didn't make that connection, I think.
Well, what the hell's wrong
You
with
just
me?
kept on blowing it out and being like, wow, this is... I always blow it out.
I mean, it was like easy to... It was really easy to do this for other things in other areas here. I don't, like...
I don't know.
What's wrong with me?
Well, this was the first one you encountered, And I think you lit it, and then but didn't realize that you had lit it because you just thought you walked up and did it, I think. And then you blew it out, and we're like, well, why did I need to blow it out? And then that's where it became, I need to blow this out.
I thought I had to blow everything out, and that would solve a puzzle. Because I saw people going to those things and doing something. And it
yeah, you saw them like lighting them up for the seals on the vault or whatever.
I am dumb of ass.
Yeah.
Does that phrase go? Smart of head, dumb of ass?
That's... No, I thought it was brave of heart and dumb of ass or something like that.
Oh, I see.
Maybe I'm wrong though. Maybe there's more than one. There might be.
It could be. This is the wrong side of this thing. It only works in one direction somehow. How do they have all this technology that works? It's just wood. They got nanomachines.
How does the fucking spaceship you're in fly? It's made out of wood.
Because it's got a gravity crystal. Well, if the ship can fly because it's got a gravity crystal, then I can say that the wood technology works because it's got nanomachines.
Yeah, basically.
Where's the other hand?
God. Revengeance is such a fun time. I really wish we got Revengeance too. Did you know that did Biz tell you that they like actually teased it one time?
I think they did, yeah.
Yeah, and then it just disappeared, and it probably never will be made. Which is okay, I guess, but sad.
Konami is kind of just uninterested in being a game company at the moment.
They're just not a good company. All they do now is NFTs and pachinko.
It used to just be the pachinko, so it's gotten worse.
Yep. And now it's Castlevania NFTs and that, basically. So if they do make another video game, it'll be pachinko with NFTs.
Oh lord. I don't even want to think about this. If they made Portal freeloaded and it's Portal, but you play as
but your gun is just
Gordon
Freeman shooting straight out of his mouth.
There's somebody living down there. Look at the shadow. They disappeared. I spooked them away with my light.
Aw, damn. Why'd you do that?
I don't know, cause I told you, dumb of ass.
Yo, Shan's finished the Pippis.
What?
Shan's been making Pippis, and is gonna like hide them. Yeah, hide them around their apartment to spook to prank their flatmate.
Can't believe this.
They were telling me about it yesterday. It was pretty great.
Are you gonna squeak them out?
Yeah, you gotta squeak them out.
You gonna squeak them out like Spamson does?
Coughing them up like owl pellets.
I think the thing, the slideshow showed how to further get in here. Oh well, yeah, I remember there was a painting with a thing on it. I didn't see that. I passed it at some point probably.
Pasta. I like pasta.
Oh, thank you, Arrow.
Yeah. I like my favorite things are food and food.
Food and food?
That is a Symphogear quote. Shan says every time I'm about to hide one, I will go.
They should put any kind of food in Outer Wilds. Dang, I really should have saved a video clip.
They have marshmallows, Elena.
Oh yeah. Well, see, Bree is the one who said that. So Bree is the one that
No,
you should
Bree said
be
pasta.
correcting.
You said any food.
I really am dumb of ass lately. Why am I?
Well,
Why am I like
unless
this?
marshmallows are pasta in Elena's world.
Yeah, in my world, we make spaghetti out of
Yeah,
marshmallows.
in the Pizza Time universe, marshmallows are pasta. We do that.
Marshmallows. But yeah, I'm really just not figuring this out.
This place is big. Don't worry about it. This place actually got reworked between you and me playing it.
Oh,
Uh, it became a lot a lot less cluttered.
oh, interesting. Sometimes it's funny, I talk too softly and my little VTuber thing doesn't activate. So I'm
Yeah,
just
that's
talking with my
happening
mouth
quite a
closed.
bit.
So you go across this damn bridge and there should be a painting
Yeah,
somewhere.
the damn bridge.
Yeah,
We fucking hate this
this
bridge.
goddamn bridge. Now thankfully here, you don't get affected by the flood. I heard
Yeah.
it. But yeah, you're safe from the flood here.
This isn't Halo.
Scusi?
It's not Halo.
You are correct, but I'm not
You're
sure
always safe
why.
from the flood.
This is some kind of reference I don't understand. I'm going to assume.
Yeah, there's like some aliens called the Flood in Halo. They're like a hive mind.
Well, what the hell
of, like,
kind of name is that? That's a terrible
little
name for
bugs.
aliens.
I don't know. I don't know. I don't really play. I've never really played Halo. I just know
Sounds like
about
the
it.
name of something that would be in an analog horror thing. The
Yeah,
flood. There's always
it's
got to
basically
be.
that.
Oh wait,
They're
look, there's the
basically like
thing. I gotta
what
get down
thing?
there without taking fall damage. Without falling flat on my ass.
Yeah.
Okay. Hey, wait a minute, that's just where I started. Well, I gotta keep going down. Going down in town. Okay, so there's that. Oh, so I just gotta get down there. Seems plausible. I still get hurted. Maybe I don't get hurted for real. Maybe I will just wake up. God, it's just so hard to see in this world. That's the most obnoxious part of being here, is it's just so hard to see anything. Because all you get is
Sight. Never heard of it.
this goddamn, this thing, which barely shows you anything. And otherwise it's just kind of really painful. Well, how do I get... How the hell do I get over there? This game loves to tease me. Like, that's just its favorite thing to do in the entire world.
Yep. It specifically is like this gamer, Elena. Haha.
I'm not a gamer.
Yeah, you are.
No.
Yeah. You're also like a gamer that makes more gamers. Because you make games.
Oh, okay. I don't know if anybody has become somebody who plays video games because of one of my like, I doubt any of mine are like the first games anybody has played.
Stop talking yourself down, Elena.
Me being too soft, you didn't know it was possible? Oh. I'm very quiet. Every time that I've been to the doctor recently, I try my best to, like, speak up loud enough that they can hear me at the reception desk, but I'm always too quiet. I try my best. My mom has to talk to them for me because I'm too quiet. Oh man, that bastard's in there again. He's watching TV.
The bastard. All they're doing is watching the video. You're like, that bastard.
Yeah, because I can't get in there to meet him. He's just teasing me with his presence.
It's like,
all the
fuck
rest
you.
of you are dead. You're alive. How is this? I gotta get in there. He like noticed me and then left. Because apparently
I'd be pretty scared too if someone just started shining a light through my window.
And you thought you were the only person left
Yeah,
alive.
but I'm sitting here watching like fucking, I don't know, a show with Biz or something, and someone just shines a light through my window. Like, come on.
Yeah, but what if you thought that you were the only person left alive?
Then I'd be even more scared.
Oh. Don't interrupt his TV watching, says Bree. Okay, so I've managed to successfully get over here. Another secret bridge has appeared. But now I gotta go all the heck the way back around without getting lost.
There's a little Easter egg if you can get to the very, like, roof of this building.
Is it like a literal egg is up there?
No, it's like... I forget which one it is. But I think it's like a little Korok from Zelda.
Oh. How'd they manage to get that in there? Without getting
I don't
sued?
think it's ripped directly, but it's just a similar little leaf person. That'd be funny. That's why the Switch version is taking so long.
They gotta sneak that by Nintendo.
Yeah.
Okay, I've gone across the little bridge.
Definitely not a Korok.obj.
Okay. So we've got to extinguish these, I imagine. Because the presence of light keeps painting doors open. But how?
There's painting those doors open.
Damn, there's just a closed door. Well, screw you, game. I got all the way down here. I deserve to get this now. One puzzle's not good enough for you, huh? You gotta make me keep working for it? You see how it is. Why can't I play these musical instruments either, huh? Everything's just a tease.
Damn, Elena's like one of those gamers who demands everything be just like real life now.
Yeah? Why can't Outer Wilds be completely realistic? But what if I conceal? No, never mind. It just smacked my face right into it.
I don't think that's how you do it.
No, I don't think so. Why can't I shoot the fruit in Outer Wilds? Shooty fruity.
Yeah, why can't you be Fruit Ninja at Outer Wilds?
God damn it, there's gotta be some way around. Maybe up here. Unless the bridge again. Oh man, there's stuff out here, huh? Oh yeah, this might take me around. Around back. Oh man, I'm running out of time. This is a terrible video game.
Okay.
Goddamn video games. I have to get around to the other side of the building somehow to get to that door. I mean, maybe that elevator does something useful in this regard. Hey, wait, why is it so much lighter this time? I couldn't see any of that last time. What the hell?
Because you can light those little candles with your thing. By shining your light at them.
I did not notice.
You can also extinguish them, but like... Why?
You can sex-extinguish them.
Yeah, you can extinguish them. That's what I said.
Well, that's just a raft time. Well, this didn't get me there. Yeah, this really just took me down here. Which is what I thought it would do. But I second-guessed myself because I couldn't find anything else. Why does everything gotta
I
be
just
so
realized what Bree was
complicated?
trying to reference with I can't shoot fruit in Outer Wilds. Holy fuck, I forgot all about that whole shit.
What was that a reference to?
There was like this time on Twitter a while back where someone was like, see, Halo, your fruit is unrealistic because in the new Call of Duty you can shoot it and it explodes into chunks that look like fruit. And like I think Halo had like fruit stands where you could shoot the fruit and it just like had a little blood effect that played and then it just would disappear.
What about those early demos they showed for Metal Gear Rising: Revengeance where you could chop up a watermelon?
Yeah, it's basically the same stuff.
It's always funny watching people play Metal Gear Rising for the first time, and the first time they realize that you can just keep chopping things, and people just go wild. And they're
Fun
just
to
like,
chop.
their animal instincts come out, and they're just like, yeah! Like, ah! Kill it!
It's a fun thing to do.
I've seen several video clips of people online who are normally like very reserved or like not like that. Oh look, it's coming right this way. This again this time. Oh wait, no it's not. Oh wait, yep, look, there it goes. It's getting real close. Whoa, did it just like land right over there? Yo. Is this a new thing with the update? I don't remember that ever happening before.
No, it's not.
Really?
Yeah, I thought it was new too, but it's not.
How did I just never see that happen before?
Same way I didn't. I don't know.
Did they like make it come over here more often or something?
Probably
I've
not.
seen it happen
That
twice
seems weird.
now. Because I looked at that thing every damn time, and it would always just shoot off into the distance in the same direction as far as I could tell. This can't be new.
I'm pretty sure it's new.
I mean, it can't be old.
Pretty sure it's not new.
I never see that happen before, and now I've seen it twice.
I don't have an answer. It is weird.
Like, that's the first time I even know what the hell that thing even looks like. It was like a cube.
You can actually go catch up to it, but there's nothing to do there. It doesn't even give you an entry. It's just
Yeah,
you can look
I
at
remember
it.
you mentioned that. But still,
Yeah.
it's like...
I was convinced for some
That did
reason
never
that
happen
was
before.
the first, that was the thing, the ship that you found out about in The Stranger.
Oh.
But it's not, obviously, because it's the probe. But like when I was chasing it, I didn't know that it was the probe. I just saw a light that moved like parallax differently from the stars. I was like, damn, what's that?
Ah. It was probing.
Yeah. That's what a probe does. Surprise.
I watched a video fairly recently about like the first like alien abduction story that became like well known. That included.
Oh yeah, the
probing.
roofs thing. The Pokemon roofs thing is so weird. Gamers are so fucked. What can I just say? They're just.
You can only now look at
Who the
roofs.
hell?
Wait, what?
Yeah, because in the new game you can look at the roofs. You could never see a Pokemon roof before that.
You mean like the ceiling?
The
When
ceiling
you're in a building?
specifically. Yeah.
Oh, in Sword and Shield they're talking about, I presume?
No, in the new one.
Oh, Legends?
Yeah, that one I think.
Right, I guess that one has a free camera. I
Yeah,
have wanted there to be a free camera in Pokemon because in the wild
the
area
free
you can
cameras
move
are
the camera
nice.
around. And
Yeah,
because for a while, because there's been like, I think since like Sun and Moon days even, I was like, gee, a free camera would be nice. And then it finally happened in the wild area. I'm like, I wish this was just the whole game. And I guess now Legends is like, yeah, just free camera. There's an area with free camera in the Diamond and Pearl remake as well, which was not expected.
hmm.
But yeah, what the hell? Like, Pokemon is not this. Why would it? Why would it be a big deal to see the ceiling? I don't understand. Like, it's the
It
whole
doesn't
thing
matter.
that's like,
That's not. We can't worry about why, Elena. All we can know is that it is.
they don't seem like this is a thing that Biz is talking about, where they don't seem to understand or accept that Pokemon is an RPG series, and RPGs work based on abstraction.
Yeah, and like video games as a whole benefit from a lot of abstraction.
Yeah.
Like, it doesn't. I don't know. It's weird to want it all spelled out
It's like,
for
why
you.
aren't the attack animations all explicit? Well, because you're supposed to glean what's happening, like, you know, from the context and like from the little bit
And it's
that it
okay to say that you would
abstracts.
like attack animations, but the amount of fucking fervor people have over this shit is just not cool.
It's like you do realize that there's like 7 million Pokemon now.
Yeah.
And you expect them to make it in HD and in 3D?
Yeah, and it needs to have RTX.
Like, I really think that Pokemon has not benefited by being in HD or in 3D. I feel like it would have done
It doesn't need to
more
move past
for
the
it.
sprites. The 3D
Yeah,
models
yeah,
look a lot
really.
worse.
Yeah, exactly. Like, I feel like it... Like, I liked the 3D environments. That was nice. But, like, they were always, like, low poly. And, of course, all the characters were still sprites running around there. Like, I liked that look. I'm fond of that. But the battle... Like, I think Black and White was perfect, where just they had, like, the puppet animations for the sprites. So the characters could all move
That
around
sounds
in a
nice.
nice way, yeah. And, like, the battle scenes were rendered in 3D in some way, so they could sort of, like, zoom the camera in and out sort of dramatically and stuff like that. And, like, that's all it really needed. They didn't really add anything by making it 3D. In fact, they kind of just homogenized the series a lot because they use the same models every single time. So all Pokemon games just kind of look the same for the most part now. Including, like, spin-offs and everything use the same models too.
Yeah, and on top of that, I don't know. It's not like... It's hard to say that, like, the soft, like, the smooth and then soft shaded, like, models and stuff like that is very generic, but it kind of is. Like, there's just a lot of games that use that, and it's kind of doesn't help your game stand out, you know what I mean? Like...
Yeah. And plus, like, people who wanted the National Pokédex to still exist. You could have probably had that if the games remained sprite-based. Because the resources required to make 800 sprites, or whatever, is... Like, that's still a task, but that's, like, a lot more doable than 800 models and explicit animations for them and everything.
Yeah.
Like, they could handle the sprites. Like, they have the budget for that, for sure. But, like, that's a tall order you're asking for them to continue handling.
That's true.
800
We don't know how
Pokemon
rushed
in
the games
3D.
are, like Bree says, because, like, I assume they're pretty rushed because it's a big game company.
Either you accept that the games are gonna come out, like once in a blue moon, but they're like, they got everything you could want in them, or you have to, like, accept sprites. Also, do these bridges still exist when you can't see them? No.
The answer is no.
Well, that was just kind of a waste of time then to check that. Because I was like, well, maybe I don't have to go do that thing. But no, I do.
Yeah.
But yeah, Pokemon has been an annual series for quite a while now. There's been a couple times where there was like 2 years between games, but like nowadays it's really just annual. And that's
Also,
too much, I think.
They make more Pokemon games than they used to, right? Because there's a lot more spin-offs than there has
Oh yeah,
been
because
in
they
the
like making
past.
mobile games now.
Yep.
Because like Pokemon just continues
Also,
to get bigger
yeah.
as a media franchise, basically. And so they're kind of locked in, like they've got all this momentum and they can't let it stop, basically. And it's really just kind of detrimental to the quality of things. Because it's, you know, quantity
Mm-hmm.
over quality. The classic thing that you don't want to do.
There's some situations where it makes sense, but mostly not.
It's just really unfortunate. I mean, at the very least, Pokemon Legends looks like very good, and it seems like they got to spend more time on that than usual. And, like, they've really changed things up for that game. This was, like, I've been avoiding the leak stuff, because I don't like to go into games knowing much or anything about them.
Mm-hmm.
But Biss said that they think that people are gonna like this. Like this is gonna make Pokemon fans happy.
I hope so, but I don't think that's possible. Pokemon fans are never happy because there's too many Pokemon fans for something to make all of them happy.
Well, I think they just mean like more than usual. That's all.
Hmm.
And they think that it is stuff that I will like, so that's my concern, of course, obviously. That's my main concern, is am I going to be interested in it? That seems to be a yes. Hi, Sasha. Welcome to stream.
Hi, Sasha.
We're playing the Outer Wilds. I'm trying to figure out something.
Yo, I want Yu-Gi-Oh holograms. Jan said they
Wow,
want
Sasha was
Pokemon
really sleepy.
holograms.
Dang. We went to sleep at like the same time last night. So you must have been really sleepy. I've been up for hours now.
2 of them, to be exact.
No, it was more than that. More like 4 hours? 4 or 5? Oh, now I'm just back down here, so this... Damn, I'm stuck at the same point. But at least I got here a lot sooner. So I maybe have some more time to try and figure it out, but... Sasha was super sleepy.
Is that like a Mario game?
What?
I don't know, there's lots of weird games that just have super in the name.
Oh. I made a game with super in the name.
Yeah, what the fuck, Helena? Can't believe you're doing that type of shit.
Damn, how the hell do you get in there? This is the goal, is that painting. Uh-oh! That didn't help. Damn. At least I have the bridges unlocked. Because it's like it makes you really work for that bridge. And then what? Like, God. Okay, that was the water. Heard it. So I know vaguely what time it is. Can I no, it doesn't even give you the button prompt to extinguish anything through this way, so none of that. I'm hanging around in the Mind Palace. There's gotta be something around here. There's gotta be something. God, this place is ruining my life.
Damn.
Am I gonna have to go watch the thing again because was there another step that they did that I forgot? I was gonna have to go see it again, I think. That'll probably be the last thing we do on the stream because we're getting to 2 hours here. I'm humming a lot at this.
I can tell.
Yeah. It's just so frustrating because everything was going pretty smoothly. I was figuring out like it was kind of difficult to figure out, but I was figuring out like the maze of stuff up to this point. And then I get here and nothing. There's nothing to do. I'm going to have to watch the thing again. At least I just know how to get, like, it's kind of a long process, but at least I know how to get through there. Up to that point, at least. Oh, let's check if my shirt is here. It is not. This is arriving by 9 PM. I hope it's here way sooner than that. Resetting so I can get to my ship in a reasonable fashion, basically. So I can look at the ship's log and remember which thing pointed here, so I know where to go to look at the thing. I think it was the first one. Oh man, which means I gotta do the door puzzle.
Door puzzle, door puzzle. No, if I hum things with the sounds being like that, it just sounds like Popeye. I cannot do this. That's what the game is. It's the Popeye game.
No.
It's that really shitty Popeye game that came out a while back.
Slide burning room. Yep, that's it for the other one. Fireplace. Right, Shrouded Woodlands. Okay. So that one we gotta figure out later. And this stuff is really complicated.
Yeah, Bree's right. You were originally supposed to be playing as Popeye in this game.
No!
That's how the Outer Wilds DLC started.
Dang, it
They're
just says
like,
the
what if we
lights are
made a Popeye game? And
extinguished.
they're like, ah, damn, I guess we can't make a Popeye game, and so they just added it to Outer Wilds.
Oh, it does let you get really close to these. So yeah, it was the first one, so I gotta do the door puzzle. Again. Just says the lights are extinguished. I guess I gotta really pay attention to what they did to extinguish the lights. Which I'm gonna do now, because if I don't do it now, I'm not gonna remember.
So are you gonna remember
Is it
next time
gonna...
that you did it?
Well, see, because I'm gonna spend enough time to go look at this thing and then try again. And then if that doesn't work, well, then it doesn't matter that I don't remember because I just still don't know what I'm doing.
I see.
Yeah. And I guess next time we'll try and figure out the other ones then if I can't figure out this one now.
Mm-hmm.
We will make something happen, I swear. It's not the hole. That's the hole. Okay. This game runs pretty well on the PS4.
That's good.
Yeah. There's like a couple times when it like is a little bit slow loading things, but otherwise it's been just perfect.
Hmm. I'm gonna be curious to see how well it runs on the Switch.
Yeah.
Like, it's like one of those things where it's like I wanna make bits get it as soon as they can, but like maybe not because I don't know how well it'll perform.
I mean, even games that you wouldn't think would have trouble on the Switch have had trouble on the Switch when they first came out. Like I remember Stardew Valley. I got that immediately when it came out on the Switch, and it had some weird problems that have since been fixed, but the funniest problem was that it just slowly, if you played it long enough, the audio would just start crackling really intensely, and you would just have to quit the game and go back in to fix it. I remember it was really, they like talked about how they figured out what the problem was and why they hadn't seen it before. It was really interesting. I think it just had something to do with the audio engine that they were using, and they just had to tweak a couple settings. And then it was good, but they just like didn't know what it was. I enjoyed Stardew Valley a lot, but I don't think I would ever play it again. I think I got everything out of it I wanted.
It just feels like one of those games where like I wouldn't really enjoy it.
Oh, you gotta like farming / life simulators, I think.
I don't hate those things intrinsically. I've never felt really like I wanted to go play Stardew.
I liked it.
That's good.
I liked how like Stardew Valley is really fast paced actually. I liked that about it. Although, like, it's sort of like a double-edged sword because sometimes I would want to like sit there and like savor it more. But like the game is just always fast. And so like most of the time I was like into that. I was like, yeah, I like how quickly this goes along. But like if you ever wanted to like slow down on it, you can't because the game's just fast. So hey, why did I go in here? Well, at least I got the bridge open. Yeah, I don't need to go in here yet. Let's leave this here so that it's there for me. That was a slight detour. Didn't hurt. Okay. Stardew Valley is actually a horror game.
Whoa.
I've been thinking about Stardew
Really?
Valley lately though because I've been watching some videos about it that have been fun. I just don't think I would ever play it again. I've been enjoying the videos about it.
I want to know more about its horror connections.
Well, you want to know the weirdest thing that's in the game
Okay.
is that is the way that kids work, which is that so you can get married in the game. That's like one of the big things about it, of course.
Uh-huh.
And then you can have kids together. You can have up to 2 of them, I believe. And first of all, they never grow past being a toddler.
Okay.
They'll just permanently be a toddler.
Yeah.
Which is kind of weird in and of itself.
Mm-hmm.
But like, it's like kind of understandable.
Yeah.
The second thing is that you can go to the witch hut place, and there's a spell you can do. Like you can do like this arcane magic, essentially, of dismissing the children, which turns them into a dove, and they fly away. That's how you get rid of kids.
That's amazing.
But beyond, then they start haunting you. Like they're like sometimes on the TV there will be a weird channel where it's like where there's like a voice that says, "Why have you forsaken us?" And like when you return to the witch's hut, I think it's like a random chance. I don't, but there will be a creepy doll there that will attack you, and it
That's
like hangs
amazing.
around the place where you do the spell to send the kids away. It's like wild. Hey, what happened to the slide?
Good.
Oh wait, right, I'm still holding it. Never mind. Let's go watch the slide. Let's go watch the slide. Yeah, there's like various aspects about the game that when you think about them too hard become sort of like weird and unsettling. Like when you just think about the reality of the world that you are in, it's like really weird. When it's supposed to be such like a wholesome and like just like pleasant game. And then when you think about it too hard about the reality that you're living in, you're like, it's kind of weird. Like nobody ever ages and like it's like it's so weird. You just have to try not to think about it too hard. What was I going to say?
I don't know.
I'm trying to remember. Oh yes, there's a really funny glitch in Stardew Valley where if you name your character just like a certain like number, like in brackets, and then you like buy animals and name them certain numbers in brackets, it just, instead of giving you the animal, it just puts an item into your inventory of like whatever you want depending on what the number was. That's a glitch that's never been patched out. It's kind of like the missing no glitch in Pokemon, where like naming yourself a certain thing will make certain things appear in the place where you normally get missing no. But the only thing is that no like normal name would do anything of note there, so you have to name yourself something really weird in order to get anything to happen there. You have to put like weird symbols in your name and stuff like that. Okay. Okay, let me look here. So the bridge. Right. Oh! Look, they blow out the house.
Yeah, they blew out the house.
So he walks... Oh, I know this place with the chairs now. There's a secret bridge right there.
There you go.
Ah, I get it now. See, I knew that it must just be... Because remember I watched those and I'm like, I'm going to have to watch these again because I'm going to get there and I'm not going to remember something. So, yeah. And that came to pass. But now I know. Alright, chat, let's do this. Last thing before I move on to Pokemon.
Damn, you're still playing Pokemon?
Yeah.
Emerald?
No, Diamond.
Oh, are you just like playing through them or something?
Well...
Like, in order or something? Or?
Well, I played Emerald because it was in preparation of the Diamond and Pearl remake.
Oh.
I just wanted to
that's
get
right, you're
into
playing
Pokemon
the remake.
Mode. Yeah.
I forgot.
I was waiting for that to come out, yeah. And this, I'm not streaming it entirely. I'm playing it on my own somewhat. Too.
Yeah.
Just because I want to play it on my own and also because I don't want this stream to take a million years like the Emerald.
Yeah, I can get too hung up on streaming games sometimes and like then I'm like sad and I'm like, damn, I really want to play this, but I can't. But like I've been starting to break away from that and not do that as much.
Yeah,
hey, Shan's a nacho. Shan gave 50 nachos.
Wow, thanks, Shan. I don't like like there's just some games I just like to play on my own.
Yeah, there's some games that definitely work
some
better.
I don't mind just only streaming. Especially because I don't spend a lot of time playing games on my own anyway.
Yeah.
So like it's fine to just play it on the stream because this is like the main time I spend playing video games lately. Like sometimes it's not even like a problem because it's just like, well, streaming is just when I play games, so like there wouldn't even be a time for me to play it on my own. Right over here. Okay, that's done.
What's funny is this level actually has 2 Easter eggs. There's a thing on top of the roof, and there's a thing somewhere else.
There's a thing hidden directly under your butt. So most of the time you wouldn't even notice it's there. You really gotta finagle the camera to see your own butt, and then you'll see that there's an egg under there. And that's the main character's child. It was that they have secretly had this whole time.
Yep.
The secret child.
The secret child.
Okay, so how do I get to that place with the chairs again? I think it was somewhere... So I did the bridge thing, so that's done. I think it was...
Yeah, the poop is well...
somewhere over here.
I'm not getting into it either.
There's a hidden poop Easter egg?
Well, it's kind of the same thing as the Korok.
Is there literally a poop?
Yeah.
Oh no, there's poop in this game. I didn't know these characters pooped.
I mean, just because there's poop somewhere doesn't mean that they pooped it.
There comes the water. Oh man, I knew where that place was at one point.
It could be the devs' poop, yeah. They couldn't
Could
hold
be
it,
Peach
so they
and
had to
Bowser's
put
poop
here.
mixed. Damn it, I knew where it was. I just ended up there several times. How did I end up there before?
Good question.
Does anybody remember? I ended up there several times. Accidentally trying to get somewhere else. I'm sure it was over there. But Sasha, if you put a poop Easter egg in your game, then people are going to think that you poop. If this conversation has been any indication. If there's poop in the game, then they think that the devs pooped it there.
And that's a problem?
Yeah.
Why?
Sasha doesn't want people to think she poops.
I mean, how do you know?
Because she has told me that before.
Oh.
Yeah, that's like a big thing. No poop. Only eyes, only face. No poops. Where was that place? God damn it. Poopless %. Speedrunning Outer Wilds poopless %.
More like poop %. That's the better category.
And there are 2 categories of Outer Wilds speedruns, poopless and poop.
Yep.
Damn it. I'm so peeved that this place that I ended up accidentally arriving at multiple times, I now can't find when I need to be there. Is it? God, where is it? This is ruining everything. Where was it? How did I get there? I know it. I just ended up there when I was exploring around here, trying to find the right place to go. Like wasting time. Like we're already a little overtime. It's upstairs.
Yeah.
And it's across the way. I remember, right?
I don't remember if it is.
I
think it's before you cross over with the hand.
Oh, man. I thought for sure it was over here.
I think you're kind of wrong. I hate to break it to you.
Man, I'm usually so good at directional memory. But like, it's so dark here, I get so discombobulated.
Sounds like you wouldn't last a second in Kingdom Hearts.
Oh?
Because the darkness is your weakness.
Oh. I see. Okay, yeah, it was over here. Right. This is why I kept wandering into it. Okay. I just scrambled myself really hard, basically. Yep, there's the spot. So... I just gotta have faith. Yes. So this is the Invisa Bridge. It's just a coincidence that I also found this other bridge.
Yeah.
Okay, now all the lights are out. What the hell was that? That was spooky. Did you hear that?
Yeah, I heard that.
Is there gonna be a boss fight?
Yeah, it's a boss fight, and you have to jump on their head 3 times.
That guy's gonna fight me. The guy who was watching TV.
Yeah, he's
we
gonna be like, you turned off my TV,
we ruined the
you
reception.
turned off my fucking house. Now I'm gonna fucking fight you. And then you stomp on his head 3 times and he dies.
It's gonna be, yeah. For some reason, the boss battle music from Kirby Superstar, or one particular boss battle song from Kirby Superstar, is in my head. The That's what's gonna play.
Is that what's gonna play?
Yeah. Oh man, I'm
Yeah.
spooked out to be over here.
You're spooked out?
Yeah. And spooked
Why
in.
are you so spooked?
Because there was that weird noise, and also... Oh man. Oh, I'm in here now. Uh-oh. I don't want to go in there. Oh, oh no, he's... Look at him! He's so scary. Oh my god. Oh my god, run! I didn't think these guys are gonna be like scary monsters. Oh no! Oh no! No, no! Is he gonna like punch me in the face? No! Oh! I didn't expect this.
I bet you didn't.
This is incredible.
It's so good.
It is a boss battle. This is how they do an Outer Wilds boss fight.
Yep. Next up, the Eye of the Universe. You're gonna punch him to death.
He's like, now come over here, you little... Get out of my house. I mean, I really am just like a trespasser here.
I mean, that's true.
Like, get out of my mind palace.
It's not your mind palace.
I'm gonna
it's
give this
my
one more
mind
try.
palace.
We're kind of late here. I gotta move on to Pokemon, but I'm not gonna forget this. I'm gonna know to do this immediately next time.
That's good. That's good.
It's a little bit confusing because all these doors are open now. Oh man, we're running out of time. Yeah, okay. Well, we'll just do it next time. That was a great end for the stream so far, though. It's a great cliffhanger. That was really, really something.
I was wondering when that was gonna happen because you got close a couple times.
Oh?
I mean, it's just you've
Close
only
to
been in
what?
here a couple times. Just close to like figuring it out and then like seeing them.
I see.
Yeah.
Couldn't believe how scary it was.
They're so spooky.
Like we've seen them plenty, right?
Yeah.
I even saw them looking all nasty and dead. But like in like the slideshows and everything, I never thought they really looked intimidating. I mean, sometimes I thought they looked a little weird with their mouths open.
I mean, I guess you didn't really ever have a scale to them either, because like your characters
I knew they were
pretty
big.
small and they're pretty
No,
big.
I knew they were big.
You knew they were big, but like you haven't seen them in person. You know, it's like how
I
you
saw
can
the
know
dead
someone's
ones
like
in
7
person.
feet. I guess, but like they're not really standing.
And also, like, you don't usually see things that are very animated in this game.
Oh yeah, there's like no one living.
Like, well, and the people who are living kind of just stand around.
Yeah,
This guy was up and he was moving.
and he was not happy.
No, I think that's the thing, was just realizing they like, he was like...
It's also funny because like everyone, I feel like no matter what, is just where most of the time is gonna be so interested in just like meeting them. Like,
Now listen here, you little shit. Get out of here.
yeah,
that was the vibe I got. I felt like I was like, it was the sort of feeling as if I was like a misbehaving child who had to be disciplined. He had to catch me and send me to my room. Yeah, I'm impressed. I feel like a lot of work must have gone into animating that guy.
Yeah,
It looked really good. This game is like, this game has some vibes that remind me of A Story About My Uncle, but like the character animations are way better than in that game.
Yep. I remember playing The Story About My Uncle. It was pretty alright.
It's a good game. Yeah. Dang. He's trying to catch you so he can explain the entire Five Nights at Freddy's lore to you.
Yeah. Listen here, you little shit. Have you heard about this guy called Freddy? Calabani?
Have you heard about the man behind the slaughter?
Yeah, the purple guy.
He was playing Five Nights at Freddy's 2 and you turned off his TV.
No wonder he's so angry.
Alrighty. Well, thank you for joining me, Arrow, as usual.
You're welcome.
I'll see you here again next week, and we will do the
We'll
boss
get
fight
through.
again.
Mm-hmm. Bye-bye.
Bye bye. All right, and everybody else, sit tight. I'm not going anywhere. I'm just going to transfer over things to Pokemon. I'm gonna be one sec here.